So now students, next we will discuss about the advantages and the disadvantages of the inbreeding method. Now, what are the advantages of the inbreeding method? As I told you that it is responsible, inbreeding method, it is responsible for the evolution of the pure line. Okay, means when there is breeding between the closely related individuals of the same breed up to so many generations, then what happened? It develops the pure line, so that's why it increases the homozygosity. Next is that it helps in the elimination of the harmful recessive genes by the selection. Means when we select the superior organisms, means the superior male and the superior female, then what happens? That it exposes the harmful recessive genes, and these genes that will get eliminated as we are selecting the superior organisms for the mating, for the breeding. Third is that accumulation of the superior genes, because as we are selecting the superior males and the superior females, so that's why there is an accumulation of the superior genes only. Okay, and the elimination of the less desirable genes. Now what is the meaning of the elimination of the less desirable genes here? Means that when there is the breeding between the two organisms, so when we will select, then we will select on the basis of having the desirable qualities that we want in the progeny. Okay, so in this manner, the genes which are less desirable, that will get eliminated from the progeny, because we will crossbreed, or we can say that we will mate the organisms which are having the more desirable genes, means the qualities that we want in the progeny. Now next are the that it increases the productivity. As the inbreeding is there, so it increases the productivity. Okay, but there are some disadvantages also. Now what is a disadvantage? That when continued inbreeding will be there. Okay, so when continued inbreeding will be there, then the variation will be less, and the fertility, it results in reducing the fertility. So when the fertility it will get reduced, then what happens? The productivity also get reduced. So these are all about the advantages and the disadvantages of the inbreeding. And this process means when continued inbreeding will be there and it results in reducing the fertility. So this is known as inbreeding depression. This is known as inbreeding depression. So when continued inbreeding will be there, so it results in reducing the fertility and then productivity, and this is known as inbreeding depression. And how this problem that can be solved? Inbreeding depression, it can be solved by mating of the organism with the unrelated individual of the same breed, which is also known as outcross. So if suppose a single outcross will be there, then it is responsible, then it from that cross what happens, that it helps to overcome the inbreeding depression. Listen again, what is outcross? Outcross means that the mating between the unrelated organisms of the same breed, okay, which have not the common ancestors from up to 4 to 6 generations. So about outcrossing we will do in the next topic, that is outbreeding. So now students, next we will discuss about the outbreeding. Now what is outbreeding here? Outbreeding means that the breeding between the unrelated organisms. It is breeding between unrelated organisms. Okay, now outbreeding, it is also of 3 types. What are these? First, that is the outcrossing. First is outcrossing. Second, it is crossbreeding. It is crossbreeding. And third, that is interspecific hybridization. It is interspecific hybridization. Okay. Now first is outcrossing. Now what is outcrossing here? Outcrossing means that when the mating or the breeding that is in between unrelated organisms of the same breed. Unrelated organisms of the same breed means the organisms they belong to the same breed, but they are unrelated, they are not closely related. And how we will come to know? If the unrelated organisms of the same breed but having no common ancestor, for around 4 to 6 generations. For 4 to 6 generations. Okay. Unrelated organisms of the same breed but having no common ancestors for around 4 to 6 generations. And I told you that what is the advantage of the outcrossing? That it helps to overcome the inbreeding depression. Okay, it helps to overcome inbreeding depression. Okay, means if suppose one single outcross will be there in the inbreeding method, then what happen? It helps to overcome the inbreeding depression. Now next is the crossbreeding. Now what is crossbreeding? As in the introduction part I told you, crossbreeding means if suppose the breeding that occurs between the two different breeds. Okay, and I gave you the example of the indigenous breeds and the foreign breeds, means the exotic breeds. And when there is the mating between the indigenous and the foreign, then a crossbreed that is obtained. But this is not always the case of the foreign and the indigenous breeds. Any two different breeds. Okay, if suppose mating that is between any two different breeds, then it is known as the crossbreeding. Means breeding or mating between two different breeds. Okay, now one example is there of Hisar-Dale. Hisar-Dale sheep. So which is obtained by the crossbreeding between the Bikaneri ewes and Merino rams. So when there is a crossbreeding between the Bikaneri ewes and Merino rams, then what happened? Hisar-Dale it is obtained, having the qualities of both these two breeds. Okay, so what is it different here? That here the same breed that is present, and here two different breeds that are present. Now next is interspecific hybridization. Now what is interspecific hybridization? In this case, what happened? Means when the mating that occurs between the organisms which belong to two different species. Okay, so mating between the organisms which belongs to two different, yes, two different species. Now mule, that is the example, and it is obtained when the mating, that is between the donkey and horse. Okay, so then mule, that is obtained. Now what is the here advantage of the cross breeding here? Like outcrossing, what is the advantage of that? That it helps to overcome the inbreeding depression. But what is the advantage of the cross breeding? If suppose the organisms, they are producing the average milk, okay, so at that time cross breeding, it helps to overcome this problem. Okay, so this is very important, that which method it is responsible for the organisms for producing the milk more than the average production. So what will be the answer here? That is the cross breeding. And this is also very important, that how we can overcome the inbreeding depression, that is by a single outcross. If suppose a single outcross will be there, then it helps to overcome the inbreeding depression. Okay, so now next we will discuss about the artificial insemination and the Moit method. So students, next we will discuss about the artificial insemination method. Now what is artificial insemination? In this, the semen which is produced by the bull in case of cattle. So what happened? That semen that is collected and then it is transferred directly into the reproductive tract of the female cattle. Okay, so this is known as artificial insemination. Means the semen collected and then this semen, it is introduced artificially in the female reproductive tract. Okay, now this semen after collection, it can be frozen for some duration for the later use. If suppose the semen that has to be transported to the female which is housed somewhere else, okay, so in that case semen collected and in the frozen manner it is transported to that female cattle and then introduced into the female reproductive tract. So that's why it is known as the artificial insemination method. Now next is the Moit. It is also known as the multiple ovulation embryo transfer technology. Multiple ovulation embryo transfer technology means multiple ovulation. It means that more than one egg that is produced. But how a cattle, means the cow or buffalo, it can produce the more ovulation, means how they can produce the more eggs. So for this purpose, FSH, it is introduced into the female by the injection. What is this FSH? That is follicle stimulating hormone. This hormone that is administered in the female cattle or any other organism. This technique that is applicable in the cattle also, in the sheep also, in the rabbits, means the other organisms also. Okay, so in the female organism, this hormone, it is administered through injection, and then what happened? The female organism, it is responsible for producing the 6 to 8 eggs at a time. Okay, she is able to produce 6 to 8 eggs at a time. Then after that what happened? Then the semen that is introduced, means the semen that is introduced by artificial insemination. Okay, so one method is this of mating, semen that is introduced, and the another method is that the female, which is considered as the superior female, it is crossed with the bull, which is also superior. Okay, now here why this female that is considered as superior? In terms of lactation, producing more milk. And why the bull considered as superior? Because of having meat, lean meat with less liquid. So they are considered as superior male, or you can say bull. And here female, like I considered here cow or buffalo. Okay, so superior female and the superior male by the mating, or you can say the female, superior female having the 6 to 8 eggs and the semen that is introduced. Okay, so this thing to that is same, but the method of mating, it can be different by directly injecting the semen or directly mating with the bull. So when the female having 6 to 8 eggs that is mated with the bull or having the semen, then what happen? Fertilization will be there. Then after fertilization, these eggs, when they will reach at this condition, means 18 to 32 cell stage, after the zygote formation, when they will divide by the mitotic division, and when they reach this condition, means when 18 to 32 cell condition will be there. So these cells that are removed non-surgically from the female reproductive tract. Okay, so these are removed from the female reproductive tract through non-surgical method, and then introduced, then each embryo introduced into the separate surrogate mothers. If suppose 6 eggs that are produced by the female genetically female mother, then to 6 separate surrogate mothers, these embryos that are transferred. So it depends upon the eggs, that how many eggs that are produced, then on that basis only the zygotes that are produced. If 8 eggs are there, then 8 zygotes that are produced and 8 embryos that are formed of 18 to 32 cell condition. So when these cells that are produced, means when these embryos that are produced, these are removed surgically, non-surgically, and then introduced into the female reproductive tract of the surrogate mothers, and there to the separate mothers, and there the development it will occur and the progeny it is produced. So this method that is more better as compared to the artificial insemination, and here the hybrid which is formed having a more successful rate as compared to the artificial insemination, means at a time more progenies that are produced. So it increases the herd size. If suppose this question it will come that which method that is applicable for increasing the herd size, then you have to write multiple ovulation embryo transfer technology. So now I think all of you come to know about this, that why the name that is multiple ovulation embryo transfer technology here. Okay, Multiple ovulation means more than one ovulation. Embryo transfer means when the zygote forms and then later on this embryo it is transferred to the different surrogate mothers. And the genetically female mother, now it is free, or means it is free for the next round of the MOIT, means multiple ovulation embryo transfer technology.